Hey YouTube, it's Nerdcat back with the last video of Nerdtastic Halloween. That's right, it's Halloween everybody, so happy Halloween! So for this final look, I decided that I would do something quick and easy that could be used as a last minute costume idea. And I decided to do a recreation of one of my favorite female characters, Edith, from the horror movie Crimson Peak. For those who don't know, Crimson Peak is a 2015 horror mystery, and it's amazing. I'm going to quickly throw up this spoiler alert because I'm going to just run through a quick plot summary of the movie. If you don't want to hear any of that, please go to this timestamp just to be on the safe side. All good? Great. Here's the plot summary of Crimson Peak. We follow our main protagonist, Edith, who is an aspiring author. After a family tragedy, she is torn between the love of her childhood friend and the mysterious outsider, Thomas Sharp. While running from the ghosts of her past, she ends up being swept away to a house that not only breathes and bleeds, but also remembers. Poor Edith is now trapped within a house that has so many secrets they're seeping through the floorboards, and the ghosts do not stay quiet. She must now navigate through this house and its terrors to find out what actually happened at Crimson Peak and what dark secrets the Sharp children are hiding. But that's all I'm going to really say, because I really think everyone should see this movie. It's a fantastic movie from its costumes, its sets, and the beautifully done acting. The movie is definitely one of my favorite horror movies. The book is also really good, so I do recommend reading it as well. Because I'm kind of obsessed with this movie, I decided it'd be a fantastic idea to recreate the final look of Edith's from the movie as a last-minute Halloween costume. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to VoiceOver Jamie, and we're going to get into this video. See you there!
Alright, so let's get started on our final look of Nerdtastic Halloween. So, I wanted this to kind of be a quick and easy look in case you wanted to do Edith for a last-minute costume. So first you're going to use a pale foundation. Now, I am already pale, but Edith is a different skin tone than I am. She's slightly paler than me and has slight yellow kind of undertones in her skin. So I took my foundation and added a bit of pink and yellow eyeshadow, and that toned down the color slightly and also gave it a little bit of a yellow undertone to slightly match Edith. Now I'm going in and putting the foundation over my eyebrows as I'm trying to lighten them to slightly mimic Edith. As you can see in these reference photos, her eyebrows are blonde and almost non-existent. I didn't want to block out my eyebrows, so using the foundation, it definitely helped at least lighten them a bit. Now I'm going in with blush all around my eyes. At this point in the movie, Edith is kind of sickly and, a bit sleep deprived from everything that's happening. So her eyes are a bit red. Her nose is also a bit red due to crying and such. So I wanted to make sure that I had that in there. Going in with some setting powder, I go around the edges of the blush to kind of soften them and make it look a little bit more realistic. Here I'm putting the blush on my nose as well. Now going in with a brush and some setting spray on it to make the blush color a bit more pigmented. I go in and trace all of the creases of my eye. So I do the creases under my eye, the crease on my eyelid, and the inner corner as well to mimic that sunken in kind of raw eye look that happens when you're sleep deprived and also sickly. So I did that around everything, and then I buffed it out so that it looked a little bit more realistic. And now I'm going to do a bit of contouring. Since my face shape is quite different from the actress Mia Wasikowska, who plays Edith. I'm sorry if I did not say her name correctly. I did try my best. But she has a very kind of angled face, and my face is very, very round. So I knew I couldn't completely mimic her face shape, but I did want to at least contour a bit to kind of hollow out my cheeks and such to kind of give me that more weaker or sickly appearance. Now it's time to go in for this cut on her cheek. I stared at my reference photo through this whole thing. It was my best friend because this cut was shockingly difficult to do. So pretty much the first point starts at your smile line and goes up slightly diagonally and ends just about where the end of your eye is. And so you kind of just draw that upwards. And then I went in with a couple of different shades of red and black to kind of work on making the illusion that it is a slash through the skin and not just sitting on top of the skin. I do go back and forth on this a couple of times, so you will see me futzing with it multiple times throughout this. Now going in with the blush, I'm just kind of dragging it down, mimicking the reference photo, because the blood is kind of pushed down in a slight triangle formation. So I tried to mimic that as well. I have to say that is definitely something that I find very interesting in Crimson Peak, is the fact that anytime blood is shown, it's not like the main focal point, because it's not about the blood, it's about the mystery in this kind of horror movie. So like if it's blood on the ghost, it's always very ethereal and kind of wispy. If it's blood on an actual human character, then you see it, but it's not a visceral kind of blood. It's more of it's there to make a statement, but it's not pouring, it's not spraying, it's none of that. It's just kind of there, like it had already dried. So I tried to mimic that as well. So I did that around her cheek cut and then on her little spud that's on her chin. So here I'm going in with my foundation and just lining the top of the cut. So I line it with the foundation and then I kind of pat it out slightly to try and give the illusion of a lip in the skin. I end up going back and doing that to kind of shape everything a little bit later on. Now going into the eyebrow cut. I'm not quite sure if she was cut on the eyebrow or if it's just blood placed there, but I kind of mimicked the shape of it and put a little dot of black in the center to kind of make it look more like a cut. And then she has very strategically placed blood drops. So she has 3 going up from that cut, 1 on the inner bridge of her nose, and a couple of drops by her chin smear. So now I'm just touching up the foundation that I put around the cut. So I laid it down not only to create that illusion of a lip, but also to sharpen the cut itself. So just lay it down, pat it out slightly, but keep a little bit of the foundation visible to help with the illusion. Now just going in with some darker reds and blacks to kind of mimic clotted blood as she has in the movie. Now with her lashes, she just has a little bit at the base, so I do that as well. And then I am going in to put in her beauty mark. So it's right about the corner of her lip, and then I go over it slightly with some powder to make it look a little more realistic. Now for the lips, I go in with 2 shades of pink, one slightly lighter than the other, and the darker one right in the center, and then I kind of pat that out. Then go in with my foundation around the outer corners to soften them, and then I cover everything with my powder. I'm trying to make my lips look natural, but Edith's lips are very, very pink, so I had to make mine slightly pinker than they already are.
And that's pretty much it. I'm going to add a couple of finishing touches and I'll see you at the full reveal. And here's the final look. Overall, I am super happy with how this turned out. It was super quick and really easy, so it's perfect if you want to do Edith for your last minute costume. I also really like this look because Edith is definitely one of my favorite female characters, so getting to dress up like her is definitely a win in my book. But sadly, that brings us to the end of this episode and the end of Nerdtastic Halloween for this year. I really hope you guys enjoyed these videos. I had a blast making them. If you liked this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more of the Nerdtastic Halloween videos, I do have a playlist if you would like to go watch them. And if you feel ever so inclined, please leave me a comment down below, let me know your thoughts on this look, and if you've ever seen Crimson Peak or read the book, please let me know your thoughts on that as well. I'd love to hear from you. Anyway, that is it for me. Until next time, as always, stay nerdy my friends, and happy Halloween! Later!